Hey folks, Fernando doing another video here for the Modern Survivalist, and in this case talking about something pretty cool. This is from the Daily Mail, and it says retired British soldier 60 disguises himself as an Afghan to make daring escape from Kabul through Taliban checkpoints after ignoring foreign office advice to stay put. So, well, first of all, super glad for this guy, Lloyd Comer, 60. It's a veteran that was working as a contractor in Kabul, and he was informed by the Home Office Foreign Office to stay put. They're going to be coming for him. Yeah, that was not what he ended up doing. He was told by people in the area that they were going to door to door looking for folks like him, and he made the call himself and said, you know what, I'm not gonna be sticking around. So he disguised himself as an Afghan himself and made an escape from Kabul, going through 3 different checkpoints, waved right through, and successfully escaped, and is back home in UK. So, super glad for him. Good stuff there. Now, this is one of the gray man aspect of this is one of the topics that's often addressed in the prepper community. This is actually one of the things that I talk quite a bit about in terms of street smarts and that sort of thing, and street survival skills, my book that I'm always recommending because of these sort of things, little details that make a difference. The way in which you're gonna be dressing, the way in which you're gonna be, even stuff like this, or actually even how to properly wear the shemag, the headscarf, explained around here, which has its own type of, for more practical use, how you tie it around and such. Anyway, what I like to point out here in this video is, yeah, gray man does work. At least it does sometimes. So when you do it properly, when you're smart about it, when you get the right timing, and a little bit of luck. So those 3 elements will be critical, will be important. Do it right, correct? Know when you're using the right technique, when is it the right time for you to escape, and luck always comes into play. So one of the things I'm seeing here is, this obviously worked for him because he made it through. And I don't know if this picture was taken before or after the escape. But I was reading that he asked for the same clothes. He bought the same clothes the average Afghan uses. So he dressed, gray man would be that. Gray man is dressing like everyone else does. It's not just that. If you want to do it properly, there's even an aspect of your body language. If you're in a country that is going through very tough times, about to hit a civil war, and people are getting killed on the streets, you're not going to be going, head up, looking around, super alert. There's a good chance that the average guy walks around kind of defeated, looking to the floor, not making a lot of eye contact. And there's a certain aspect of the body language of how people around you move, and you want to imitate that. So you have to be kind of like a little bit of an actor and kind of imitate the way others move, not just how they dress. Now, in terms of the dress, the shemag or scarf, he's wearing it. I've seen some pictures where people wear it like this, but know that there's like different ways of tying it, different knots. It may be cultural, it may be from certain regions. So you want to do the exact same knot or the same kind of headwear disposition that locals do. You don't want to mess that up because that would stick out quite a bit for locals. Even the colors, if they have a specific meaning or not. So you want to be very aware of that sort of thing. I'm also seeing that the clothes he's wearing are quite sharp, nice, just out of the packaging, and you can actually see the ironing of them. You see this nice little, nice neat folding. That probably is not how the average Afghan is looking out and about. He's gonna be wearing something that's a bit more worn in. So you maybe wanna, rub that with a little bit of dirt and just try to get a little bit dirty, and just, more wrinkles and that sort of thing. A bit of more wear and tear would be advised. Something that looks a bit more worn. I'm also seeing the watch that's probably not the kind of watch, probably a bit more expensive than the average Afghan is using. And I'm also seeing some Salomon sneakers here. It's like similar to the ones I wear. So that probably would not be what your typical Afghan is wearing. He's going to be more likely going with sandals and that sort of thing. So if you want to go for the full effect, maybe I get it. I wear these myself, and I know that lots of contractors do. Salomon is a pretty popular brand, and you wear it because it's comfortable. You get good footing with it, and if you have to move fast and through more complicated terrain, fantastic footwear. But maybe the disguise is not all that complete with it. Other than that, I mean, it worked for him. He just was waved through. Also, in terms of the timing, he's doing this in a moment where there's complete chaos and lots of people moving around like ants. So that would be the perfect moment. So just, with a little bit of disguise, there's a good chance that someone peeps, any, improvised guard or checkpoint at that moment looks, go through, old man, going your way. And that just worked for him, perfect timing. Maybe if you wait for another week or so or another month, it is maybe not as likely to work as well. So on that aspect too. So one of the things that you probably want to have, you definitely don't want to have any type of long guns like those rifles, long guns. That's going to be more of a, sticking out more and more questions. You probably, even though you see Afghans all over the place with guns, it may not be, and you could use that if you're like with 2 or 3 buddies and you speak the local language and it's impossible to tell you from the other Taliban group, then maybe that's something that may end up working. But for something like this, just trying to get lost in the crowd, I think that if I want to have something, it's going to be more like this. Something very compact, little handgun, something that I can hide more easily. And as a last resort defense tool, definitely you don't want to be using it. But if it gets to a certain situation where you may have to use it, and of course you know how to use it properly and at the right moment, it may end up making the difference between you leaving in a hurry and getting yourself lost again in the crowd, or just being detained and tortured to death. So I would rather have something that so as to make a last attempt for freedom. So no long guns when you're escaping like this. Probably something very nicely concealed, a handgun that hopefully you're gonna be just losing it the moment you jump on a plane that's taking you the hell out of there. You're probably gonna be going through that checkpoint without any firearms. If you can, by all means, but if not, it is a tool. It just stays behind. You just hop on a plane and get the hell out of there. It could also be a valuable a barter tool, an extremely sought after in these places. This is a status symbol. So if you know a little bit of the local folks and you get the right contact, maybe this is actually not the thing you use to fight your way, but the way you bribe your way out of that mess. If you know that the right guy, and some of these people that are running these checkpoints, they couldn't give any less of a damn, and something like this appeals to them a heck of a lot. So you bribe your way. You explain, especially if you're like from a foreign journalist, maybe not Brit or American, maybe that's a little bit more complicated, but someone that hasn't got that much of a that much skin in the game. Maybe you can just, look, I got this. Are you interested in this exchange? Just drive me to this point, and you get yourself the gun that maybe you spend your entire life waiting to have a pistol yourself. Besides your AK, you make it through. You just bribe your way out of this mess. In eastern Ukraine, when the Russian forces were invading, and there were those checkpoints, people got through many of those bribing their way with vodka or a bit of cash. And talking about cash, a couple $1,000 would definitely not hurt your mission at all. That's the kind of thing that you hand over a wad of cash. Most of these folks, you're gonna be making your way through. Of course, you have to be smart about it. There's no guarantees of anything. You may just hand over the cash and just get shot in the head, which could perfectly happen. But if you have a bit of luck, if you maybe have some local contact helping you out through this, you have a gun, you have a bit of cash, or quite a bit of cash, hopefully, you may find your way out of this. Besides the disguise, besides being dressed like a local, just things to keep in mind. Usually, based on everything that I've researched over the years, cash gets you out of places. Even in during the Bosnian War, when Sarajevo was sieged, if you had 10,000 Deutschmarks, the German money, that got you out of freaking siege Sarajevo in an armored vehicle. You just bought your way out of it. That's the kind of money that buys you, that gets you a ticket out of that kind of place. You have to be smart about it. You have to, hopefully know the right people. But it is a valuable resource. Maybe a gun, maybe something else to barter, maybe something else you arrange. And yeah, definitely the aspect about gray man and just getting lost in the crowd when doing it right, definitely something you want to consider. And it's going to be depending on where you are. If it's in South America, it's not going to be this kind of dressing. Of course, it's gonna be maybe like a t-shirt like I'm wearing now, maybe with some local logo and a worn out t-shirt. Yeah, the thing about stuff that's worn out, this is critical. If you're not used to it, it sticks out like a sore thumb whenever you see someone wearing brand new clothing and very shiny and not washed colors like most people are, especially in impoverished parts of the world. You don't even realize, but you immediately notice it. You check out and you see that someone is a lot cleaner, maybe not cleaner, but just has new threads, brand new stuff and shiny new nice sneakers, when most people look a lot more worn and washed out in their appearance, especially in the more impoverished parts of the city or town or wherever it is that you are. So sometimes it's those little details that get you in trouble. Maybe the wedding band is something locally used a lot. Maybe it's not. If it's not, you definitely don't want to have it. It's even I notice when people are tanned or not. If you live in a place where most people spend their day under the sun constantly, and someone shows up looking like a damn ghost, then that is also something noticeable. So it's all those little things, and you can disguise that quite a bit. In terms, if you want to get really into the gray man aspect, there's women use the fake tan stuff. You can buy yourself a bottle of fake tan and look a lot darker than you usually are. Probably the mainstream media is going to be accusing you of blackface or some stupid crap like that. But if you want to make the full thing work for you, it's something to consider too. Okay, folks, that's going to be all for now. Remember, books linked below if you're interested in this sort of stuff. If you're interested, Survival, the Economic Collapse, my other books are available there in Amazon as well. See you in the next video. Have an awesome day. Take care.